The club anthem. I don't suppose it's been belted out with the sort of volume we've just heard too many times before. And there is an electric atmosphere in the Estadio Wanda Metropolitano. For all of that, Stuart Robson alongside me. There's a relaxed bunch of players on both sides, exchanging pleasantries, greetings. They know each other from international football, so many of them. And they all seem to be treating this as another night of work. Very, very relaxed, particularly the City players.
I'm not sure it's going to be quite so relaxed once they start. You know the way Atleti want to play. They'll try and make it very competitive. They'll make it ugly at times, but they know exactly what they're going to try and do, and that's defend deep, be compact, and then play on the counter-attack. Man City have to be very careful of that. If they can score the first goal, Man City, the tie should be theirs.
What a wonderful sight.
Champions League anthem. Hah? Ano pegang yang mula? Pakai emblem yang emblem. Aduh.
For Atletico, there's just one change from the team that started in Manchester last week, with Thomas Lemar brought in. Shime Vasalco has been left out, and that means Marcos Llorente will play on the right as more of a wing-back. It's 3-5-2 or 5-3-2, dependent on the game's progression. The front two again being Antoine Griezmann and Joao Felix. Referee tonight and his team are from Germany, headed by Daniel Siebert. His last game before tonight was in the Bundesliga Spy on Saturday, second tier. Schalke beat. He's at right back with João Cancelo on the left and Nathan Ake dropping out. The one other change from 8 nights ago sees Phil Foden start. Raheem Sterling is a substitute. And remember, it only took Foden 79 seconds to make his mark in the first leg, creating the chance for Kevin De Bruyne to score the only goal. Stars everywhere. João Felix, De Bruyne, Foden, they've been on great form for their sides of late. Ilkay Gundogan wears the captain's armband for Manchester City this evening. And there is a raw atmosphere, expected to be matched by the tempo of the game. There was a little bit of ill feeling towards the end of the first leg. Jack Grealish came on as a substitute for City and got a bit of treatment. You can expect the Atletico players in particular to go tearing into the early tackles, trying to make their mark, responding to the noise. It is belting down from the stands from their supporters. A huge game with a huge game feel to it. City players, as is customary for English Premier League teams, take the knee and send a strong message out against all forms of racial discrimination. And now it is City in the all-navy strip for this one, getting the night started. 1 goal to the good from the first leg. Pep Guardiola has said he expects a different game. He thinks Atletico will be more intense in what he described as the top half of the field. They will come at his players a little bit more. His players will be ready for that. There will be an element of counter-attack on both teams, I would think.
Absolutely. It looks as though João Felix is going to play as the main centre-forward. Griezmann's gone to the right-hand side, Lamar to the left, with Koke trying to press from that central area.
Just need to take his time. Waving players forward. Incidentally, City do have Ruben Dias back as a substitute this evening, having missed 7 games with a hamstring pull. Back ahead of schedule.
There's a couple of players that already slipped. The first one was Ederson when he took that first kick of the game, and there Walker gave the ball away by slipping over.
Another slip from Kondogbia. De Bruyne sets off on the first squeeze. Felipe able to find Oblak. João Cancelo's header. Controlled by Lamar, who keeps it away from Foden. Strong running down the left from Renan Lodi. It was João Felix in the middle and Kyle Walker tucked into the middle to deal with the ball over.
Well, it was good play from Atleti, but also very good play from Walker. Great positional play from him.
Bernardo Silva. João Cancelo. Rodri. Back at the club he left to join City. 1 season with Atletico. 47 appearances, 3 goals. His other old team, Villarreal, are already into the semi-finals in the other half of the draw. Laporte. Swept forward towards Bernardo Silva. Out of play for a Manchester City throw. Diego Simeone's team suffered a setback in La Liga at the weekend, losing by a 0-0 away to Mallorca. They've struggled all season against La Liga's bottom teams, only 4 points from 6 games against the current bottom 3. Free kick goes their way here.
Yeah, Rodri just caught on the ball there, then committed the foul, according to the referee anyway. That was much better pressing from Atleti.
Guardiola gets some wise counsel from the experienced Juan Marlilo. Awkward one for Llorente.
At full time he's got into a good position but didn't make the most of it on that occasion.
Good pressure there to force Walker to put it out. Guardiola, that's for the crowd as much as anybody else, letting them know that he doesn't mind his team doing that. Play out from the back as much as they can. Few do it better. Foden, that's a late challenge, and that is a reckless attempt to jump for the ball from Felipe. It's got the City bench up, and the referee looks as though he's going to be lenient. But that was all about just making his mark on an opponent. No chance of getting the ball.
You're absolutely right. There's no chance of Felipe winning this ball. He made his mind up to go right through the back of Foden. Foden was always going to win the header. Takes a real whack.
That's a yellow card, it should be.
Yeah, that should be. Not every aerial challenge is a foul, but that certainly was a poor one.
Felipe was one of Atletico's best players a week ago.
Yeah, the sad thing for him was that the actual goal went on the wrong angle, didn't he, to Kevin De Bruyne? Up to that point, he'd been immaculate.
There's no Jose Jimenez again at the back for Atletico, still out with a muscle injury, and Hector Herrera ruled out too. Taking time with Phil Foden here, because that was one heck of a blow that he took, and he took it unawares, which can make it all the more dangerous.
And actually, when he fell, I think he might have hit his head on the ground as well. Chance for Simeone just to give João Felix some instructions. Started the game quite well, João Felix. There it is again. It's late. Turns his shoulder into him as well.
He's had a red card in Europe this season against English opposition. He was sent off at Liverpool in the group stage. Hasn't even got yellow for that one, but there's a little bit of blood for Phil Foden as well. And Jack Grealish is getting the message to get ready. Presumably just for a jog up and down for now. Get loose. Diego Simeone is saying they should get the player off. Wouldn't be surprised if we see a little bit on the touchline tonight too. It started to go a bit with Jack Grealish involved plenty. He took a few kicks towards the end of the first leg. There's been a little bit since, which I think the media have made a bit more of. There was a line from Pep Guardiola where he talked about Atletico's 5-5-0 formation in the first leg, and he said they've done that, and over the years in prehistory, today attacking a 5-5 is very difficult. The Spanish press took that as him saying that their football was prehistoric. I don't think it was meant quite in that manner, and Simeone responded this week by, well, he was actually quite dignified. He said, well, I've never talked down a colleague, and he used an old quote, the fish dies by the mouth. But, you know, with those two, they're on a fuse.
Yeah, as you said before the game, it wasn't the warmest of handshakes, was it?
No, and he's gone for the all black as Pep Guardiola. I don't think that's coincidental.
I've got to say, I think his all black is a little bit better than Simeone's all black. Being the fashion guru that I am.
Phil Foden's all patched up, and they've checked that there's no concussion chance. That's the most important thing here.
Yeah, Felipe's got away with one there. He really should have got a yellow card for that challenge.
Well, they talk about challenges that are likely to endanger the safety of an opponent. Well, that was one right there. Port. Headed up by Savic. Gundogan. Foden had to hesitate. In came Llorente. Mahrez down this time, and no free kick given against Renan Lodi. Reinildo. Stones got there first. He nearly presented it to Griezmann. Somebody's lit the match here. It's on. The action's getting faster, and there is feeling on the field, on the edge of the field, all over.
Atleti will quite like the fact that the referee has just let one or two things go so far. The last challenge looked to be a foul on Riyad Mahrez by Renan Lodi.
Wouldn't have thought it would affect the English Premier League champions too much, because they will have fully expected that tonight. And it's good to see a tackle or two, as long as it's just about the right side. Ball drifted the wrong side of the line for Phil Foden. Atleti throw.
Quite sure whether he was going to play on the left-hand side and Bernardo Silva was going to play in that withdrawn centre-forward role. It'd be the other way round, but Foden certainly is playing as the centre-forward.
John Stones. Walker to Laporte. Foden. Bernardo Silva back with Laporte. Now Rodri. De Bruyne with a spin away from Reinildo. No chance to find him at that moment. Mahrez will not please his manager too much with a miscontrol there.
It wasn't a decent pass either from Walker. Didn't need to play it in the air. Bounced just in front of Mahrez. Yes, he should control it, but it wasn't a great pass from the England right back.
Wijnaldum. Walker climbs. Touch back by Griezmann, and Koke's trying to free João Felix. Ederson is always switched on and doesn't mind getting involved in the defending outside of his area. He's raced back into his posts, or between his posts now. Renan Lodi. Lemar. Kondogbia. Felipe. Now Llorente. Walker's header. De Bruyne now. Bernardo Silva on the left-hand side. Foden into the middle. Bernardo Silva showed too much of it to Savic. He gave him the opportunity to stick out a foot and win it. Lemar. João Felix won't get there ahead of Ederson.
There's a couple of times that John Stones has gambled on playing offside. He may well have been offside, but we're talking inches there. John Stones has got to be a little bit more careful with his positional play, I think.
João Cancelo to Phil Foden. Nicked away by Savic. Walker. Mahrez onto it. Gundogan had to stretch too far. Kondogbia does really well. João Felix now. There's applause from Simeone, applause from Guardiola, cheers all around the ground.
Good defending from Ederson. Chose the right time to come out on that occasion. João Felix had got in behind John Stones.
Black finds Lemar. Loads of room out right for Llorente. Lemar. Okay. Cancelo will try and let that go. He's able to do it reasonably comfortably.
I don't think we've seen too much of Griezmann so far. He's playing on the right-hand side. It's Luis Suarez, who rarely starts games at the moment.
Came on in Atletico's last home game to get a couple against Alaves. Had the best chance at Mallorca on Saturday, but had a header saved early in the second half. Cancelo threatened to lose it once and then did second time. Koke not pulled off the ball, despite what the home supporters think. Certainly not what the referee thinks. German referee Daniel Siebert is letting an awful lot go both ways. Wants to enjoy the show himself.
It can make for a much better game, can't it?
With Kondogbia. Mahrez finds Walker. He only looked as though he was eager to get on the pitch and tackle him there. Gundogan. Bernardo Silva. Foden the target for Walker. Okay.
To make those sort of runs, he just tried to spin off the back of the wide centre half. Llorente. It was in the arm of Phil Foden.
A couple of corners that City have been denied. They really ought to have had. Lemar. João Felix. The flag is up against Renan Lodi. City do it quickly. De Bruyne. De Bruyne is taken out, and that's Felipe, and he'll get a yellow card this time. Referee indicating that that's his second. Might have been a caution for that alone. I don't know why Stefan Savic is complaining so strongly about it.
Well, how could he complain? He had that first challenge in the air, and Felipe is late. Kevin De Bruyne sees him coming and is clever, plays the ball off. And he goes through the back of him. Understandably gets a yellow card from the referee.
Might just calm his passion a bit. Twice he's rushed in. Nothing will calm his. With Ederson. Regular watchers of the English game may have seen one of the coolest bits of goalkeeping you'll ever see from Ederson at the weekend against Liverpool, where he caught his foot in the turf. The ball looked as though it was going to roll over his goal line, and he, without breaking sweat, walked back, passed it away under pressure from Diogo Jota, and most of the stadium were holding their breath, and he was the coolest customer around.
Laporte was looking for Foden, who's now gone to the left-hand side. Really had too many touches as the centre forward. Bernardo Silva's now taken up that role.
Stones. Glance back from Savic to Oblak. Lemar. Dogbia has given it away. Rodri. João Cancelo. Phil Foden. Manchester City, as is their way, racking up the passes. Laporte looks to free João Cancelo. Foden. Deflected to De Bruyne, and it's a really good block by Reinildo. You can pretty much bet that that was on target from the Belgian.
Good pass from Laporte, playing forward. He's on the side as well. Cancelo tries to get it back onto his right foot. A weak effort, I have to say, from Foden, but really good defending. Reinildo throw himself at the ball.
Just what Atletico need. Can't afford to allow City to double their lead in the tie. Mahrez, Oblak's come for it, never looked as though he was getting it. Tame from Foden though. Griezmann just keeps it in, it's rolled along the line. Koke. Reinildo. Felix. Lemar. Ederson will be able to get across and watch it go.
Just didn't have enough bend on it, did it, to get it into the path of João Felix, who set the play up really well. Renan Lodi down this near side is going to be a threat to Man City. He's got that energy to get forward at the right times. He's going to work hard with Lemar as well.
That's gone up half a level from the first leg. It's because of the extra pace that Atletico have to put into their attacking play. Has to be a bit more of a risk element.
Against a counter-attacking team as Atleti are. Man City, I think, are taking one or two gambles with their offside line. I don't think either centre-half is particularly quick. At times, I think they need to drop off that little bit deeper.
Foden down with no reward. For all the games that he's played, Premier League, Champions League, international regular now, he is still a young player. I wonder if he's in danger of just getting wound up a bit too tight by not getting anything. Corners, free kicks, whatever. He was sent off in the Champions League a couple of years ago against Atalanta. Has matured a bit since then.
I'm not sure he's going to be particularly pleased that he's been moved so early in the game out to that left-hand side. This didn't affect the game as the withdrawn centre-forward.
Laporte to Rodri. Morris. Walker in round the back to pull it across. Phil Foden, Gundogan off the post. Next one blocked by Felipe. And De Bruyne is unable to profit from the rebound. Closest either team has got. Good tracking back from Gundogan.
Well, that's one of the best passes you'll ever see from Riyad Mahrez. Outside of his left boot, the weight of pass, the angle of pass. To see the run of Walker, brilliant. What a scramble it was in the box as well.
Foden just get the ball a little too far away from himself. Presumably the idea was to have a go himself. What is of note is that this is a game in which Atletico, of course, have to score, and Ederson's not been forced into doing anything yet. City, the brighter attacking team. Bernardo Silva. Mahrez. De Bruyne. Foden. Renan Lodi had no choice other than to turn it high, and with Walker right behind him.
Well, Pep Guardiola, all the players have just made a slight change here. There's that ball with the outside of the boot. Absolutely inch perfect. That first touch, it meant he couldn't get the shot away with his right foot. Gundogan with the first chance, Gundogan with the second one. In the end, Renildo, I think, is the player that gets the last block in. Felipe gets his body in the way of that one. There was another one to come from Kevin De Bruyne.
It's the second time that Renildo has been brave. Got to be. In from Mahrez. Headed firmly away by Felipe. Walker. Silva not settling for the throw-in, wants to keep the ball quickly moving. Rodri. Why slow it down when you've got the hosts, if not quite on the ropes, then certainly staggering a bit?
Just saying, it looks as though Guardiola has made a change here again. Bernardo Silva is coming to create a 2v1 against Renan Lodi with Mahrez for the last 5 minutes or so, and they have had a bit of success down here.
Stones. Bernardo Silva. It's Koke. Walker. Now Renan Lodi backs himself to get there. Stones got there with him. Look how much ground Mahrez has covered to get back. The sort of work that sometimes you don't see, but with Manchester City is always there.
Well, these two players down the near side are covering a lot of ground, aren't they? Renan Lodi, as soon as they get any sort of decent possession, he's making a 60, 70-yard lung-busting run. Mahrez is trying to do the same likewise. good contest here.
Walker. I used the two words at the start, high octane. That's exactly how it's been. Football with a punch. Foden. Rodri. Cancelo, Phil Foden, offside. Not his night so far.
Certainly not. Just made his run a fraction too early. Sees that space to run into. It's a tight one. Very tight. Felipe may have been playing him onside. Here's that moment again. Ball played into the box. Just had to play it out. Renan Lodi. Mahrez coming in at the far post.
Atletico fans are playing a full part this evening. 6 home games in the Champions League without a win, Diego Simeone's team. Technically it's 7. They lost at home, in quote marks, to Chelsea last season in Bucharest, the height of the COVID pandemic. Renan Lodi back with Thomas Lemar. Back to Llorente. Condobia. And Ederson gets across. Was always going to get across. Shot was deflected.
I'm not sure that was the right decision from Condobia. A lot of players in and around the box. Wasteful effort in the end.
Stones will play it across to Emerick Laporte again. Those two have been generally solid in Ruben Dias' absence. They know each other's games well enough. They've played together so many times. That's a late challenge. And the assistant referee's flagging for it, so it will be a City free kick. And a word in the ear of Antoine Griezmann. Has a Portuguese background, so he can discuss that with João Cancelo in a moment or two. It wasn't an apology.
He was slightly late. There's too much malice in it. Guardiola's not happy with the referee. And 1 or 2 more yellow cards dished out.
Felipe. Walker. De Bruyne, Gundogan taken late there. Foden, he slipped that time. Condobia, João Felix. Griezmann offside, just getting back on now. Llorente's gone down the middle for João Felix. And Walker, for, well, how many times is that tonight that he's come in at the right time?
Well, there's 2 things he does. He sees the danger, but he's also got the pace to get there. He's become a wonderful defender over the last few years.
João Cancelo. Not his best.
He was always going to chop that back onto his right foot. Just got underneath it. Explain that one.
Well, it's got to be done by hand gestures because there's no way either coach is getting heard in this din. I often think when we have Simeone and Guardiola or other coaches of that sort of demonstrative nature, that it might be nice to have a camera on them permanently. It's theatre on its own. Diego Simeone will ever leave this place. 11th season in charge of Atletico Madrid, a club that used to have a reputation like no other for hiring and firing quickly, but they have their man now, and have had for over a decade.
Well, there was talk earlier on in the season when they were struggling to win games. They were playing some poor football. They were trying to play more enterprising football. It wasn't really working for them. Didn't seem to know what his best team was. Didn't know what his best formation was. Talk that maybe he spent too long at the club, but he's just got them playing well again now.
I think the run in this competition seems to have sparked the enthusiasm again. Got them going in La Liga up until that defeat in the Balearics on Saturday. Ironically, Atletico have struggled against teams that have sat back against them and contained, which is exactly the way they like to do it themselves. Stretching the point a bit too far to just label Atletico Madrid as a defensive team. They are as exciting as anybody when they really do break and go and they're on song. Andre to De Bruyne. Bernardo Silva. Just the one goal separating the teams in the tie, so you wouldn't use the word control all that freely, but Manchester City haven't been put under any real danger yet. And here's Foden. Bernardo Silva doesn't get the ball when he might have wanted it. Foden's forced into reverse, which he's happy to do. Going backwards to come forwards.
I just wonder whether he could have pulled the trigger there. He got the ball played into a good area, just hit it hard and low across the goalkeeper.
Mahrez. Walker to Stones, advancing, creeping, ever further forward, which Atletico won't mind seeing.
This was the pattern of play of the first game. Every Atleti player in their own half behind the ball.
Mahrez. He's quickly past one. Mahrez with a jinking run, blocked by Reinildo. Star defender for Atleti so far. João Felix being held onto by Stones. Too skillful for him. But Stones was dogged.
Yeah, João Felix had got the beating of him to start with, but he was looking for a pass. He couldn't see one. Just when he came infield here, a little look up, then went back the other way, and tried to nutmeg Stones.
Lamar. Walker shoulder to shoulder with Renan Lodi. Lamar. Foden will bring Savage to it. In fact, Savage this leaves a little bit on Phil Foden for brought a smile to the Manchester City player's face, but it was completely unnecessary. Ball was beating them both.
And that's where you're talking about Foden just keeping his cool, keeping his composure. We saw Grealish get a bit upset when he came on last week. If he does come on, I think the Atleti players will start winding him up straight away.
Although, to be fair to him, he maintained a smile throughout most of it. Needed Pep Guardiola to come onto the pitch at one stage, make sure he did leave the scene.
I just think the Atleti players thought they could get at him.
Stones. João Cancelo. Ilkay Gundogan. De Bruyne. Unable to have a great impact in the final third yet. Emphasis on yet. Rodri. He's hung back a fair bit as De Bruyne. Walker to Mahrez. Mahrez feels he's got the beating of Renan Lodi here, outside or inside.
Well, Renan Lodi is good going forward. He's not quite so good defensively. There's that nudge. Not a good bit of play, is it, from Savic?
And that is designed purely to wind Foden up. They know what they're doing there. The referee's just having a word. He's seen it. Over from Mahrez. Oblak gets a bit of it.
You said it on the last set play that came in. Oblak doesn't look particularly convincing, does he, when balls are played into that far post area? Doesn't seem to get any height on his jump.
It's like he's going for the ball, but he's never quite close enough to it. Stones. To the final minute of the first 45. There won't be that much to add on. Maybe a couple of minutes for the treatment of Foden early doors. Stones down. Rodri gets on with it. De Bruyne. Foden's gone wide for João Cancelo. Rodri. Gundogan. Kondogbia. João Felix. Stones did foul him in the first place. João Felix is saying that's 3 times. Diego Simeone is endorsing that view. They want Stones in the book.
I think João Felix has got the beating of Stones. Whenever the ball's played up to his feet and he gets turned, Stones struggles.
Daniel Sebert is sticking to his guns, just a free kick.
It's the arm, it's the leg. Just can't keep his balance in the end, João Felix, but certainly got the beating of Stones in a 1v1 situation.
De Bruyne and João Cancelo. And João Felix himself, Kondogbia and Llorente are the players on the field who are one booking away from missing a potential semi-final first leg. Stones there to Carl Walker was take your time. 3 minutes. We've already played a minute of it. Bernardo Silva nudges it to Gundogan. João Cancelo can't keep the ball in play. I thought he'd done it.
Listen, a lot of players slip over. Great conditions here, but 2 players have gone down just slipping at the wrong moment.
Foden. Switch to Koke. Kondogbia. Nicely done. Lemar. Renan Lodi back to João Felix. Has broken from midfield. João Felix has played it on the other side of him. He wasn't expecting that. Mahrez pulled at by Renan Lodi. Well, he's only issued 1 yellow card to Felipe so far, the German referee. I have the distinct feeling he will be a busy official in the second 45 minutes.
And he's going to be put under a lot more pressure in the second half. Probably both coaches might have a word with him as he's walking off.
Done his best to let as much go as he can.
So far, Man City being quite happy. They haven't really been threatened by Atleti. Atleti have certainly played higher up the field. They've shown more attacking intent than they did in the first game, but still not opened up this Manchester City defence. The
message from Diego Simeone will be keep on going. It only takes 1. The whole feel of the game can change. It's as we were for now, though. It has been 100 miles per hour, pretty much from the first couple of kicks of the ball. A few challenges going into. Only Felipe booked so far. Plenty more to come in the second half. When will the goals come? Atletico need at least one. Atletico 0, Manchester City 0 at the break.
Belanja di Oshop aja. Kini telah hadir Total Home Squad, alat olahraga terkini yang mampu membakar lemak dan membentuk tubuh Anda tanpa perlu keluar rumah dengan cara yang mudah. Total Home Squad cocok digunakan oleh siapa saja dan sangat baik untuk Anda yang ingin membentuk tubuh, menghancurkan lemak pada bagian perut, mengencangkan lengan, bokong dan paha, serta otot seluruh bagian tubuh. Berolahraga di rumah dengan Total Home Squad sama seperti berolahraga di tempat fitness. Memiliki indikator digital yang lengkap, serta pengaturan beban latihan yang dapat diatur menyesuaikan dengan keinginan Anda. Tak perlu khawatir soal penyimpanan, karena Total Home Squad mudah disimpan ketika sedang tidak digunakan. Dapatkan bentuk tubuh ideal dan sehat hanya dengan berolahraga di rumah bersama Total Home Squad. Belanja di Oshop aja.
Fabio. Ela panggap lunga. Ela panganggap lunga. Angkat ke perawan. Menapa mati? Abo. Abo kubo. Iyalah.
Griezmann turning on the pace. Laporte went with him. Griezmann is adamant that he got his tackle in and he will get the corner.
And that's what I was talking about with the two centre-halves not being particularly quick or not dropping deep enough early enough. Ball was played over the top, Griezmann got there. Actually, Laporte does well enough to get back and make a challenge.
Griezmann perhaps raised a few eyebrows there with the turn of foot he showed. Ederson stayed back here. Reinildo. João Felix, dispossessed by Rodri. It's been a keen start to the second half by Atletico. Demonstrated there by Savic, making absolutely sure he was quick enough to win the ball. Lemar took on the shot. Rodri was always going to be in the way of it. Oh, there's a hunger there now.
He had a decent first half, Lemar, trying to combine with Renan Lodi, trying to combine with João Felix.
Up towards Griezmann. Won't be able to challenge for that one. Placements readying themselves.
It's Carrasco, who's had a very good season. Up until recent weeks, he was probably Atleti's best player. Played in many positions, mostly at left wing back.
He was sent off at Porto in December. Here's Griezmann. Walker gets that. Reinildo. Feels like the fireworks have been lit here. Foden. An extra level of intensity to Atletico's play and general attack-mindedness. Look what it does to Manchester City. Bodies around the ball in midfield. It only takes one of them to be teased around, Stones or Laporte.
I think he may just have been offside, João Felix. He made his run a fraction too early. That's the space I think they can expose in behind John Stones. Ball wasn't quite good enough on that occasion.
Laporte. Silva. Had to work to keep possession. João Cancelo. Gundogan. Foden. Starting the second half where he played the bulk of the first in the end, out on the left. Started in the middle tonight. Koke. Kondogbia, fouled by Bernardo Silva.
Yeah, well, we were talking off air. I was saying to you, the two ineffective players for Man City so far have been Phil Foden, maybe Bernardo Silva. Just haven't really affected the game so far.
I don't think it would be unfair to say that City haven't hit their true heights tonight yet. Kevin De Bruyne is another one who's been pretty deep generally in the play. Of course, it's not their game to push for. Foden. Savic has been excellent. Lemar. João Felix. Look at the run from Lemar. Well, that was the idea, but it was nowhere near him.
You can see exactly what he was looking for to whip that round. About the penalty spot area, got it all wrong. Renan Lodi.
De Bruyne just beaten to it by Koke, who thinks there was a touch back off the Manchester City. Doesn't just think it, screaming it. A little bit of that from the Atletico players, perhaps expending a bit of energy that way that they don't need to. Has been warming up pretty vigorously, and Diego Simeone has been in conversation with him down on the touchline.
He's a player with a fairly decent goal record this season.
Very good.
Without playing that much football for Atleti.
He's got 12 in the bag. Only one behind top scorer Luis Suarez. And goes Gundogan. Throw in Atletico Madrid. That's come off Reynaldo. Felipe's kept it in, and he's got lucky in the end.
It was a comedy of errors, wasn't it? But they have got the goal kick they were eventually looking for.
Towards João Felix. Where's Ederson going? Well, he knew where he had to be. His reading of the game and positioning is just about second to none in terms of goalkeepers. João Felix stretches, can't get there. Flag up anyway.
Yeah, he was offside. That was a much better delivery by Renan Lodi, bending it into a good area. He had strayed offside, running in between the two centre-backs.
The change is going to happen soon for Atleti. One more than they've lost in Europe when they've lost the first leg away. Champions League knockout stages, they've won 2 of the previous 3 when it's happened. Desperate to set up a semi-final against Real Madrid. So a City though. The flag will go up here against Griezmann, who knew he was offside. Diego Simeone. Calling for. I think the replays will probably say that he was too, and he was.
Yeah, I think what Simeone is saying is let it go on, and then you can put your flag up when it's finished, as the assistants are told to do. But
you didn't have to let that one go on.
No, absolutely.
You can't have it always.
managers think they can.
You were there once. Savic. Llorente. Good, really good cross. João Felix actually, yeah, it's hanging. He's got to put a lot of power in it. He's got a lot to do with it, but he'll think he should have done better than that.
And I think Renan Lodi was free behind him. It's a great delivery from Llorente. Walk had two players at the far post. He was never going to get above that, was he?
Renan Lodi called. It's understandable if he didn't hear him. Certainly wouldn't have seen him. Lemar. More territorial gains here for Atletico Madrid. It's been the way since the start of the second half.
Yeah, they've been the better top side in this second half. They do look a threat now. They're creating too many chances. Balls are coming into the box. The movement's better. They are playing higher up the field.
How long can they keep this going in search of an equalising goal in the tie? Well, there's Renan Lodi with the pullback, and Gundogan went every step of the way with Koke. Manchester City are being asked questions. Pep Guardiola is thinking about how to best answer them. His players are doing what they can. Cancelo opts not to steer it back to Ederson. Llorente. João Felix to Griezmann. An instinctive belt of the ball. Didn't miss by a great margin.
Well, what a good effort from Griezmann. Set up by João Felix. There's that big crossfield ball. As you mentioned, Cancelo could have gone back to the goalkeeper, chose not to. Llorente popping it forward, just comes off the outside of his boot. Watch how he sit here, always going wide. But they're getting closer.
Attempts. If they keep on with the attempts, they'll get them on target eventually, and one might just beat Ederson. Manchester City have not really been able, well, they haven't launched an attack worthy of the name since the break. They don't find themselves up against it often. They're such a hard-working team that they'll certainly relish the task.
Man City players complaining about a foul throw, but there's the strike from Griezmann. Tries to just hit through the back of the ball, just slices off the outside of his boot.
Swerve from Stefan Savic, looking a cultured centre-back tonight. There's Stones. Rodri, two on him, and Griezmann's got the ball with assistance from Lemar first off. French double act.
Well, they're now starting to win all the 50-50s, all the knockdowns. Game is changing here.
Savic, Ederson. Knew straight away that was his. In his domain. Noise level has ratcheted up again. Scarves are waving. Atletico fans believe. What a noise there's been in Madrid 2 nights running. Football City. Not often you use the word aimless with the Premier League champions. Llorente, dispossessed by Foden. He comes and takes it back again. Kondogbia, Renan Lodi coming in from the left-hand side. Beats Mahrez to it. Walker not happy with Mahrez's attempt there. Mahrez has just held his hand up by way of apology.
There's that bit of skill. Yeah, flimsy challenge really from Mahrez. He was never going to get there first. He's been good, hasn't he, Walker? He's probably been their best defensive player.
experience. Gundogan.
We talked about Bernardo Silva playing as a centre-forward. We talked about Foden playing as a centre-forward. Now it's Kevin De Bruyne who's playing as the furthest forward player.
Laid off by Griezmann. Stones has the advantage and could be the guard for Ederson. Excitement level is up at a scale never previously felt tonight. If Atletico at some point will have to step off and have a bit of a breather. Ready to go again, come in waves.
You mentioned Simeone was thinking about making a substitution, talking to his coach about what they could change. At the moment, they're playing quite well, so he'll probably leave it that little bit longer.
They won the ball again, high up. Gundogan tries to break up the attack. Lemar, he's coming to the side tonight to great effect. Koke. Felipe looks for Llorente, that's going to clear him. Would have cleared him if he was 3 times the height.
And exactly half the passes for Atleti. There's 1 or 2 of the substitutes that may come on and make a change.
Daniel Vaz on the right of the trio, the Dane, who's only played once since signing from Valencia at the end of January, picked up a knee injury on debut at Barcelona. Brought in to be a squad player, he's a play anywhere man, is the Dane. Pep Guardiola will be loving this. Likes a challenge. Loves to be tested. Looking to reach a record 9th Champions League semi-final. Joint record 8 with Jose Mourinho right now. Twice a winner of this competition with Barcelona as the boss. Semi-finals all 3 seasons at Bayern Munich. Runners-up last season with Manchester City. He's always insisted that if he doesn't win the Champions League with Manchester City, he'll be considered a failure. That's pushing it a bit. Griezmann. João Cancelo will be kept honest by Llorente. The nudge won't bother him. Griezmann's bothered about not getting a free kick further back in the play.
Yeah, the ball comes across. I'm not sure there was too much contact. I think Griezmann was looking for it. Didn't pick out the right pass. He could have played that a lot earlier for the run of Llorente.
Manchester City have stayed dry in the storm so far, metaphorically speaking. Certain touch from João Cancelo back to Laporte, who had to be quick, and hence he's given the ball away.
We usually see Manchester City controlling possession, controlling the tempo of the game. That hasn't been the case in this second half. Found it difficult to get it into their front players with any sort of quality.
Condobia. Dispossessed. It's been given as a foul against Bernardo Silva. He thinks he timed it right.
I think he did time it right as well. Condobia took a risk by trying to run past Bernardo Silva.
A word in Raheem Sterling's ear from the Manchester City boss. Laporte didn't have the chance to get it cushioned down. Walker is in again, as he has been so many times tonight.
Well, that's their big game plan, that big diagonal out to Lodi. Walker has seen it on numerous occasions. He's defended brilliantly at times.
Rodri. by Reinildo. Going to have a change. Raheem Sterling has had his instructions. Now he's going to get 26 minutes minimum of charging about. One for Kevin De Bruyne. Now, unless De Bruyne is struggling with injury, that is a bit of a surprise, or Guardiola has got another bit of tactical genius up his sleeve that nobody else on the planet has thought of.
Well, I think probably De Bruyne must have a slight injury. He struggled to really influence the game in this second half. He was playing as the main centre-forward. Sterling's now got into that position.
De Bruyne has scored in 4 games in a row, 6 goals in his last 6. I think at some stage tonight he'd get the chance to have a shot on target. Noticeable that the Spanish TV director instantly panned up to the City fans to see if they were scratching their heads about that. No complaints from the Belgian as he went off. Let's not forget the workload that, well, these 2 sets of players have, but City in particular.
They had a massive game, didn't they, on Sunday? High-intensity game, at a blistering pace, great quality against Liverpool.
Another one to come on Saturday against Liverpool again. English FA Cup semi-final. Ederson, as usual, takes every available split second. Here's Koke. Griezmann. Walker. And he wins the throw. Played it against Renan Lodi, who couldn't stop himself following through with the challenge that has hurt Walker. It will stay as a Manchester City throw-in.
It's his follow-through that almost catches Renan Lodi. Renan Lodi had every right to go for the ball. Seems to be in a bit of trouble here. There's why he's come off.
There we go. Yeah, it is an injury for Kevin De Bruyne, and a disconsolate look on his face. He's just demonstrating to Jack Grealish that it was an impact, which might be good news. This might not be good news for Kyle Walker. All change Atletico.
Anybody that's followed Atletico this season, this is the norm. 3 substitutions all at once, and then he'll make another couple probably in a few moments. So he's winded himself somehow.
To see where the hands went. Usually an indicator of where the pain was, but didn't seem to be the case this time. Leg's a problem, that's for sure. He winced, he said, oh my God, then, when the physio put his hands on his left leg, just below the knee.
Well, there's the cameras that you were asking for in the first half.
Coach Cam.
But he's in a bit of trouble here, isn't he, Walker? This doesn't look good for the right back, who...
Oh, that's not good.
Who has been exceptional tonight.
A little bit of the twinkling feet of João Felix. And a little bit of the stamping feet of Antoine Griezmann.
And he got a taste of his own medicine.
Atletico fans are frustrated. They think Walker is taking time out of the game. That's not the case. Genuine injury here. And here come the cavalry. Angel Correa is coming on. The first change sees Griezmann's number on the board for Yannick Carrasco to take the field. His Champions League comeback after a 3-match ban. Survivor in the Atletico team from the 2016 final when he scored. Rodrigo de Paul is on, and he takes the place of Koke to add a little bit of extra midfield energy. And we're going to see Renan Lodi replaced by Correa, so that's just a bit more attacking dynamism.
I wouldn't be surprised if Lamar goes out to the left-hand side where Renan Lodi was playing.
And Correa, you can hear, he's Such a favourite here. What a worker. What a survivor. Kyle Walker is trying to walk off the blow, and he takes to the field again, at least for now. Llorente gets it. Llorente teed up the shot, and the shot doesn't trouble Ederson. Rodrigo de Paul breaking from midfield.
That's his first touch of the ball. Walker limping back on. Great play from João Felix. Goes past a couple of challenges. There's the cutback. And he doesn't wrap his foot round it enough. Half a chance for de Paul.
20 minutes to go. 20 minutes of the 90. There'll be at least 3-4 by the time we get there. Probably 5 or 6 minutes at the end.
Just to tidy things up, Carrasco's gone to left wing back.
Yeah.
Straight swap with Lodi. Correa's come onto the right-hand side of the front positions, exactly the same position that Griezmann was playing.
Manchester City have not been able to get any sort of foothold since half-time. They're under pressure. They're holding on to their first leg lead. Can they hold out all the way? Will Atletico run out of steam? It's a full header from Laporte. Here's de Paul. It's a poor ball across. Ederson didn't want it to come across.
Yeah, gets a clap from João Felix. He made the run again in behind John Stones. De Paul didn't quite get the bend on it that he was looking for. But the starting position of Ederson really puts the player on the ball under pressure.
So the blow to Kyle Walker's foot. A trio of defenders warming up for Manchester City. Nathan Ake, Alex Zinchenko and the returning Ruben Diaz. Ederson's taking his time. Felipe. Here's a challenge for Walker.
Surely got to come off, hasn't he?
Yeah. Here's Mahrez, found by the pass. Won't get to that though.
Walker's going to have to come off here. And Cancelo will probably go to right back, and one of those players you mentioned will come on at left back.
Well, Ake played there in the first leg and did pretty well. He seems to have overtaken Zinchenko as the go-to replacement left back. Neither of whom are naturals in that position, although Zinchenko's played a heck of a lot there over the last few seasons.
I'm not sure how many times he's played in his favoured central midfield position for Manchester City.
Not many at all. The slip and then a bit of weight on the left ankle. Top of the foot, I think that's the problem. So Walker off, and it is Nathan Ake to come on. He'll play left back, Cancelo will go to the right. Rodrigo de Paul, controlled by Felipe. Gets it out quickly to Lamar. Great run that from Reinildo. Pull back to him. He can't get it into anybody in red and white in the middle. City are scrambling. They're not composed as they usually are at the back. They've been made to work so much harder, so much quicker. Ake's first touch. There's Sterling's first touch.
Yeah, Ake's been on a minute or so. Sterling's been on for 10 or 15 without getting a touch.
Ake heads out. Not a player who will be fazed by the emotion and the drama of the game. Nathan Ake's a pretty cool cat. big money. Looked as though he'd be a Manchester City regular. And then they bought Ruben Diaz. Fernandinho's got to come on. If we're talking about know-how and ability to break up a game and, well, and I use this in glowing terms, spoil it, he's the right man. He can play too. Manchester City stalwart who surprised his manager yesterday by announcing in the pre-match media briefing that he was leaving at the end of the season to return to Brazil. Pep Guardiola was then questioned on it and said, well, it's news to me.
Interesting to see where he comes on. I imagine he's going to be one of the holding midfield players, whether it's a straight swap for Rodri. Rodri plays alongside Rodri in that midfield area.
Ake looking for Foden. He's barely had a kick this half. Correa. Kondogbia wanted that. Correa. Felix lurks in the centre for Carrasco. Bit of skill, has just lost a bit of momentum from the move. 3-0 though, and there's Laporte waiting for it. It's bounced away from Sterling. Kondogbia. Carrasco. 14 of the 90 to go. Atletico pushing, but yet to score the goal they need. And João Felix isn't given the right service by Correa, but he's bundled through here and down he goes. Carrasco continues. Referee's not minded to give anything. Over towards DePaul. He's had 2 chances since coming on.
Well, they're claiming a penalty, but the referee saying it was a dive in the box. That was his words anyway.
It's a bit of a flick of the leg from João Cancelo. Mistimed it, didn't he?
He did mistime it. He missed the ball and he caught Correa. This is the last cross that comes into the box. DePaul with the second opportunity of the game. Didn't quite get it right. VAR says there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, all incidents like that in the penalty area looked at. Marco Fritz is the man with the butt. He didn't see anything substantial enough to overrule what the referee had first thought. But they had more than one look at it though.
In real time it didn't look to be a problem, but when you saw the replay, it certainly was a bit of contact from Cancelo and Correa.
João Felix drops into a pocket and gets it quickly out to Llorente. And offside Correa. That looked a pretty easy one to see.
It should be easy for Llorente to see that he can't play that pass. I think that's what Simeone was telling him as well. He's obviously offside, don't play the pass.
He tried not to. He put his hand up, didn't he, as though to say I can't, and then did anyway. Well, we're at that stage of the evening where all the fun of the fair really began in the Real Madrid-Chelsea game 24 hours ago. Chelsea overturning a 3-1 first-leg deficit with a 3-0 lead before Real came back with 2 of their own. Bernardo Silva's off, Fernandinho is on, and that is a sign of what it's been like for City this half. And the club captain takes the armband from the captain for the night, Ilkay Gundogan. Manchester City have put extra insurance into the game. Here he is. DePaul. Correa got up quickly to have the snapshot, which is wide.
Well, first bit of action for Fernandinho to chase back here. He throws himself into the challenge. I think that was probably a foul.
Yeah.
But the referee played the advantage. And Correa sliced it wide.
I think if Correa had actually stayed on the floor, the ref might have been managed to bring it back. Luis Suarez is coming on. So, the old gunslinger, Diego Simeone, has turned to one of his own ilk. He's got a few more chapters in his story yet, Luis Suarez. Spain, and a late challenge from Llorente, who's hurt himself into the bargain and will get a booking too. And the booking will mean that if Atletico do turn this around, he won't be playing in the first leg against Real Madrid, his former team, the team that his father Paco played for and that his great uncle Francisco Gento was a legend for.
He was late in the challenge. Good play from Fernandinho, who is playing alongside Rodri in that central midfield area. That's confirmation of what you just mentioned.
It might not be relevant, but goodness me, Atletico Madrid hope it will be. "48 goals in UEFA club competition have come from Luis Suarez. If he could get to 50 tonight, it might be his best bits yet. Certainly for Atletico, it would be." De Bruyne pulls up his socks and keeps his injury warm. City with some game time in the Atletico half. This is a rarity. In from Mahrez, out by Felipe. Lemar. Fernandinho taps it out. The Atletico schedule changes have gone from 1 to 2. Off goes Lemar, on comes Luis Suarez. And Mateus Cunha is taking the field as well. Another forward player, popular player as you can hear. He's taking over from João Felix. He's perhaps not as cultured as the man he's replacing, but he can add a bit of chaos theory to Atletico at the top end.
You have to say it's a fairly strange decision. Your most creative player, the player that's looked threatening, João Felix, makes way when you've got 9 minutes left and you want to get back into the game.
But it is a time for gambling. They've got to spin the wheel now, Atletico.
They've kept all three on the pitch. Of course, we've got Correa on as well, bro, so probably not.
Ederson will risk a booking. Savage. It's come off Rodrigo de Paul. Mahrez will chase and win the ball. Rodri, Fernandinho. Just trying to poke it for Gundogan and then set off for the return, but Felipe had his measure. Oh, great work, Fernandinho. Sterling. Gundogan, nobody down the right. Wide open spaces. Ake. Foden. Fernandinho. Rodri has to hurry. Here's the Powell. Stones gets across. And Ake's there as well. And Suarez took too long. Mateus Cunha can't win the ball there.
Had that been João Felix against John Stones, 1v1 in that sort of area, I think Stones would have been struggling.
Suarez doesn't have that pace and that direct game these days.
Of course, he's been a brilliant player, a world-class player. As you mentioned, got the pace now.
Mahrez blocked. Allowed Savage into the tackle. But Manchester City are responding here. They've been in their own half, almost all half, but now they can move it around in Atletico territory. Sterling's hung on too long. And then held on to the ball. Free kick Atletico for the handball. I think the referee there has just caught somebody in the face, although we're looking back there at Rodri on Mateus Cunha. It's all going on all over the field now.
He did go with these studs showing. That was the break.
Got a yellow card for it retrospectively. Play went on.
Good advantage by the referee as well, because really Suarez should have made more of it.
He has let everything go, hasn't he? Pretty much everything.
I don't think either coach will be particularly happy with him, but overall it's made for a decent game.
Decent game with no goals in it, which is to Atletico's detriment. Suarez. João Cancelo, left back or right back, same job to do. More comfortable on the right, in truth. Kondogbia. 5 to go, plus a bit more. Atletico Madrid have given everything in search of an equaliser in the tie, a winner on the night. Manchester City have defended like Trojans. Over the top, chested down, and the shot is blocked. Edison was going the other way as a result. Corner Atletico, it might have been so much more.
Well, it's brilliant play. There's the forward runs, 3 players trying to run past John Stones. There's the chest from Correa, and Stones gets the block in, and an important block as well.
He played them onside in the first place, but celebrated his block like he scored himself. Edison doesn't get there, and nor there's Stefan Savic coming in at the back post.
Well, it looked as though all he had to do was get a touch on this. It's going fairly wide in the end. He's always struggling, not a great effort from Edison. Ake was the player that got his head on the ball. There's the chance for Cunha. Important save. It may have gone straight to Edison. Correa with a good chest down.
Credit to Laporte actually as well for a half block in the first place. Can Manchester City hold out? What have Atletico got left? Wonder where this will rank in his achievements with Manchester City if they can get the job done tonight. It's not the job that they've become famed for under Pep Guardiola. Far from it. But I suspect he knew it was coming tonight.
It's not the sort of performance he would want. He'd want his team to control the play, create chances, score goals, but had to dig in this second half.
Okay. Sterling thinks he's being pushed. Nothing for it. Manchester City's 100th game in the Champions League. Ake. 155 of their first 99. Only Real Madrid won more of their first ton. It's not about winning tonight, it's about holding out. There's Carrasco. Suarez didn't get it, nor did Matheus Cunha. And City scramble it clear. Here's Foden. Llorente tries to get back at him, he can't foul him. Foden has to take the wide route. Felipe is across, and the second kick was a bit of a swipe from Felipe on Foden. He won the ball, he put it out, no problem there. The second bit, though, was a problem, and Zinchenko's having to get involved. Now, if this has been seen as we saw it, Felipe's got to go.
Well, he's already been booked as well.
And now it is all off in the corner. Savic has lost his head. Ake is being held away. Zinchenko had spotted it straight away. He saw the second kick at Foden. We knew this would come at some point tonight.
Well, it's a silly challenge from Felipe. He gets the slide challenge in, and that's good enough. But then he has a second swipe.
Just watch that there as well. Grealish just had a word with Savic.